Welcome to sketch number 1. I'm really excited about sketch number 1 because it's not a design that I've ever used before. This design is based on one of Jen's layouts, and I'm really excited to try it and see how a layout that I make will come out with it. So when I look at this sketch, I think it should be a solid background, and this is obviously several layers behind the photo. Now, something that I've never done before is a title at the top, so that's going to be a complete departure for me in what I would normally do. I would probably normally put the title down here, but I'm going to stick with the sketch and put it up here. And then I'm going to do some strips of journaling, and keep in mind that this is supposed to be a diagonal design going across the page. So what I decided to do is use this piece of Maggie Holmes pattern paper. Before I started creating the layouts for this class, I ordered from scrapbook.com lots of papers that were crepe paper, and they're mostly Maggie Holmes, different collections of hers. And I also ordered all of these sticker sheets. So this is from the Shine collection, and there's confetti and poolside and the Wonder collection. And I didn't have any of these. And actually, some of these I got on Walmart.com for super cheap. And these are only about $3.50, both sides, and it's about $3.50. So you'll see me using these a lot throughout the class, and I'm really happy with how many choices they gave me and how well that they coordinate with the papers. So I'll be talking about that a lot as the class goes on. So I asked Jen, I said, if you were using this sketch and you wanted to use this Maggie Holmes paper, how would you do it? Because I was thinking to myself, well, I could just use this, behind the photo. And this is the photo that I'm using. It's of my mom. There's my mom in the middle and her siblings. And so I thought about just using this as a photo mat, which would certainly be perfectly fine. And then I could add in some more solid patterns in the other colors. And Jen actually said that what she would do is cut the flowers, fussy cut is what we say, the flowers out of this pattern. And I pretty much thought that's what she was going to say because I've seen her do that a lot. That's one of her signature looks and go-to designs is to use cut out flowers. But I have not done that often because I'm not good at it. And I decided that I would just go for it because I really love this paper and I wanted to use the flowers. So here's a little trick that I learned. I cut all of these out, and of course when you're cutting you want to always turn the paper, keep your scissors kind of in the same place and turn your paper as you go. That's something I learned a long time ago. I'm sure all of you know that. But one thing that I had a hard time with was getting into the very corners, and sometimes the paper seems like it might wrinkle, but it ended up being okay. But here's what helped me the most. Sometimes when Jen fussy cuts, I will see that she leaves a little border of white or whatever color that this is sitting on the background. And so I had tried to get that look after seeing her do it, and it was a little too difficult for me to keep it even, and so I didn't like the end result. Well, with this, I just decided to go right up to the edge of the flower. And then if there was a part that I was having a harder time getting into the area, I just cut into the flower itself and probably even changed the shape of it just a little bit. But unless you were comparing this with the original, I don't think you could tell. You can tell now that I'm showing you that maybe it's just slightly different. So that's just a tip for you. If you see where some people leave a little border and that's too difficult for you, just go right up to the edge of the flower. And then, like at this part, I even had to change it completely. I just cut away part of it. So if you've been wanting to try fussy cutting and it's seemed difficult, you can try that. So now, of course, I'm going to need some patterns to layer behind my photo. So these are a couple of papers that I used in another video in the class. You'll see these later. And I already had some scraps of these, so I cut those down. And I'm going to layer these behind my photo. So I'm going to have these here, and then I'm going to have this under the photo like this. And then I'm not really thrilled with this part of where I've cut it out, so I cut this out to layer on top of this section. I'm going to probably pop that up with a pop dot. Then I'm going to take this flower and put it under the corner here. And then I want to continue my pattern going down like the sketch shows. So I cut this section out to put kind of in the corner, and I'll have to figure out exactly where. Now, one thing I'm trying to do is keep, as you can see by the sketch, I'm trying to keep this photo over to the left and up near the top, but I also need to keep in mind that my title is going above there, and you know that it can't go off the page. So I kind of am going to have to fool with that a lot to get it in just the right place. But right now I'm looking at this and seeing that I'm liking these colors, I'm liking these patterns, but I feel like it needs a black layer behind that photo because there's so much black in the floral paper. So let's look at this pattern paper. This is one that I think I got it at Michael's, but it's got a lot of neutrals in it. So there's a solid black there. I think I'll just use this solid black. I mean, I could use that pattern, but I think at this point it needs a little bit of solid. And I think I'm actually going to go in between the pink. Maybe make it not as wide. Now that little piece, it took a while for me to work on that, so I want to protect that. I don't want that little leaf to come off, so I've got to be careful about that. Okay, now I'm going to use some stickers that I pulled off of the sticker sheets to continue the diagonal pattern. I'm going to do some journaling strips. So I looked through here, and I especially liked these gold words because I just love gold with these colors. So I pulled out this little gold label, and I thought that would be good to kind of anchor this floral down here because, of course, this floral can't just sit down here by itself. It has to have something grouped with it to make it be like it's not floating. So I'm going to use this label here. And then out of these words, I like the words treasures and beautiful, and I was thinking about how these, my ants, are like beautiful treasures, so that would be sweet. So I'm just going to layer those here with this label. And then I found this black label, and I think I'll stick it behind here just to give that a little something. And I like this gold heart. Now today I'm making this layout on Valentine's Day, so I'm really in the mood to use a heart anyway. So let me go through here and see what else maybe I could add. That love you is cute. So this is my EK Success powder tool. And whenever I'm going to use a sticker, I use this to take off the sticky first. You'll see Jen using this in her videos as well. I found out about this from Christina Werner, who's a card maker. And this really comes in handy if you're doing a layout and you want to be able to move the stickers around like a die cut. So that, like, I'm just thinking about whether or not I want to use that. I'm not sure until... If I do use that heart here and this heart here, I probably want to have a third heart. I like to do things in threes. And I normally do this on the table, but it makes the camera shake, so. I might do that. Okay, so for the title, I'm going to use these gold thickers. These have been out quite a while, but I only recently got them at Hobby Lobby. So I really like these. I like how short and squatty they are, and I think they'll do well to fit right up above the picture. So I used a piece of clear sticker backing. It had some really kind of old and ugly stickers on it, and I took those off and just ruthlessly threw those away so that I could have this piece of sticker backing to see if that was going to look right. One thing I've noticed about using the sketches is that I really love seeing where the title is supposed to go because it gives me a better idea of how I want to do my title. For instance, I can tell by looking at this picture that I didn't want anything to come down onto the picture because their heads go up so close to the top. And to me, these sticker letters resemble just the way that the title is written on the sketch. And so it just helps me to see the area on the sketch where the title is laid out, to think in my mind of what sticker letters, or if I'm going to cut out a word, what will work best. So keep that in mind. Now I want it to say Mama's Family, and I tried doing the word mamas in these same thickers and it was just overkill. It was too much. I don't think I do like this love you there. It doesn't seem to go. And so I thought to myself, you know, I want this to be really, I don't know, these flowers remind me of kind of a vintage wallpaper. And my aunt's, you know, I'm thinking of like an older lady and maybe a style that's vintage and reflective of maybe their homes. And so I don't, for some reason, and because it's mostly girls in this picture, the flowers are just perfect to me. And so I wanted something to keep with that feminine and sweet feel, even though my uncle's in there as well. Sorry, Uncle Bradley. So I thought what I really would like is some kind of really pretty script. So I decided to write out the word mamas with my brush marker and then cut around that. Now, I'll be honest with you. I like my brush lettering, and I learned that from Jen in her class, but I probably would never have cut out a word and used it on a layout. I know I wouldn't have until I saw Jen do it, and she cut around the word just like that, and I love it when she does that. And so it gave me the confidence to do it. And if you look like on this sticker, you can see that that's exactly how that sticker is made. It's cut more down into the letters, and I could do that with mine as well, but I think this looks okay. So if you do hand lettering and you want to, you know, perhaps you've taken my class or Jen's, and you want to do something on your layout, just write out your word. And you can see, this is the piece of paper that I wrote it out several times until I got one that I was completely happy with. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to do it with y'all watching and be happy with it. So I like that one the best. And then I just cut right around it. And I'm really happy with how that looks. So now I'm going to write out my journaling in little strips, and I'm going to try to, just like the sketch shows, I'm going to try to kind of fit those into a diagonal pattern. So I might have to write a couple, because I want to keep them short. I might have to write a couple and then see how much room I have left. It's not like I'm going to have a lot of room to really tell a story. I'm probably just going to say, you know, Uncle Bradley came to visit in the fall of 2015, and it was so good to see them all together, something like that. So I'm going to glue everything down and do my journaling strips, and I'll come back and show you how I'm going to put those. Okay, so I have everything glued down, and I did my journaling strips, and I'm really happy with how they came out. I just did them short and sweet, and I really love how they fit exactly in the space that I intended them for. Now, how I did this was I made a text box in Microsoft Word, and the font that I use on every layout in this class is called Typanoidinsky. I had to think about how to say that. And so I really like the line that this has created, And I've learned a trick from doing this class. I rarely do journaling strips like this, but I really like them, so I want to do them more. Well, I use dot adhesive that rolls on like this. And so here's a tip for you. When you're putting down journaling strips, don't use dot adhesive, because what happens is, I mean, I haven't done it on these, but I did it in another lesson in the class. You might be able to tell, but some of the dots will peek up from behind the journaling strips, and then it's not a very clean look. So I'm actually probably going to use this big fat glue stick and glue those down, but I'll do that after I finish this because I have to get my head over them to get them straight. Okay, but I really like how that looks. I don't want them to be perfectly in a line. Okay, so I feel like I need just a little bit more down here and maybe something black to balance the black of the mamas where I wrote it. So I thought about this, but this is words, so I don't know if I really want more words over here. So I'm going to look through these sticker sheets just a moment. There are a lot of these black X's, and if I could figure out where to put them, I might could kind of scatter those. I feel like I would need one more to go up here. So I don't know. I like those. It's really not what I had in mind. They're not very girly. For some reason, that's kind of calling to me. I think that's more color that I want to bring in. What about this little bird? That's cute. Ooh, he's cute. Okay. I have to hit him with... What I need is for this bird to be pointing in this direction. Then it would be perfect down here. But because he's looking off the page, to me that would just be like a picture of someone looking off the page, and I can't do that. And I don't really want to cover up the picture or... Ooh. No, I don't think he even stands out there. I might leave them there. We'll see. Okay, so here's this little thing. Yeah, I kind of like him, and I think I could finagle the journaling. I might could even move... No, I was going to say I might even move that flower down a little bit, but I just remembered I have that label and everything stuck down. I don't want to mess with that. I'll just have to... Thankfully, I haven't glued that down yet. I just have to make that work. I guess. No, see, that's going to make my journaling be too low. It does kind of make sense for a bird to like be in the flowers. What it is his feet. His feet are messing me up. Ooh, what about there? Ooh, that's pretty. That's pretty. That's it. Finally. There we go. Yep. Okay, that gives a little interest. Why would someone use this wishbone? That's hilarious. A wishbone. Okay, if you say so. Here's a cute little, it's almost like a shamrock. That would be cute, like for a St. Patrick's Day page. Okay. Oh, stars. Now, I usually don't mix hearts and stars. To me, it should be either hearts or stars. Let's see this heart. No, too big. Okay, let's find that other. I like this, but it's a little bit too cream for everything else I have going on this. Now here's a little bit of yellow, and I have some yellow here, so it seems to make sense that I would have a little bit of yellow down here to balance it. And I really like that word recorded. I always like anything in scrapbooking that's like documented, recorded. I've written this down. That makes me feel good about myself. Here's a little bit of gold I could put somewhere. Here's a heart. That just made it too much. Okay, I'm going to call this done, and you can see that I stuck really closely to the sketch, and I love that the sketch tells you exactly where the embellishments should go. Now, of course, instead of this by the title, I put mine to the left, but I really love the diagonal design, and I hope you are inspired by this and are now thinking about how you want to use sketch number 1. So be sure to check out Jen's video for this lesson. I know you're going to love seeing what she came up with.